I mean, can you find the words for it? Back-to-back wins over Wisconsin now?
Yeah, and the best part isn't even about that. It's just about this singular game of that was the prettiest, ugliest win ever. And I'm really proud of our guys because there was a point where it wasn't looking good, right? And they had us on our heels, and they kept attacking, and the defense was out there. We couldn't move the ball. There was no quit. There was no doubt. There was no fear. It was just keep attacking, and I'm just so proud of our team. This is a player's game, guys. Our players went out there and made plays when they had to. So proud of Cam Ward, defensive staff. I mean, to get a touchdown and to really hold them when they're on the heels and clutch moments in the red zone was huge.
Braylon Allen and Ches Malusi, 19 carries, 69 yards. That's back-to-back weeks. Now, the defensive line has been absolutely marvelous. Just speak about them and kind of how they impacted this game to take away their run game.
Well, I just know they're our heart and soul on defense. And I think the interior defensive guys, I can't give enough credit to Coach Caligus and the way he's had these guys perform and ready and tough. And RJ was unblockable in pass in the first half. They made some adjustments to try to chip him. Just really proud of to stop the run. It takes everybody. And I thought that's what you saw today.
Coach, you said leading up to the game this week that WSU and your team had a chance to make a statement this week. What statement did you guys make?
That we're focused on the now. I mean that. There's a lot of things that I would really love to say. But at the end of the day, our team belongs at the highest level. Our program does. That's in my heart. I believe that. I say that with a meaning. And for all this stuff to go on, I think it's just another way that our guys went out there and proved who we are. What's the merit? What's the merit? Because we go out there and do more with less than maybe anybody in the country. Okay, so why is that a situation or circumstance where we can't continue to do this at the highest level? I mean that. Are we going on wins? We're going on location? We're going on revenue, market? I don't know what it is, right? But for us not to be where we should be, I'm not trying to give ourselves a distraction, but, I'm just really proud of these guys.
This game felt kind of similar to last year's Oregon game. Now, in that game, you guys weren't quite able to find the plays down the stretch to pull out the win, but you did tonight. What was the difference?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we focused on it a lot. We really have. And last week could have planted a seed of doubt in the back of our mind. Hey, we didn't have the best fourth quarter. We couldn't go out there and get a stop. We couldn't slam the door. There was no flinch in our guys tonight. I'm just really proud of everybody. It was gut check time on the offensive line and the receivers, and Lincoln Victor made a big third down catch, and Cam was incredible with his escapability and playmaking, and for the defense to go out there and shut the door should give us some really big confidence moving forward because we got to be better. And there's a lot of learns, and I think that's what's exciting about this game.
Hey, Coach, some of your guys looked like they were pretty locked in here. Shaw looked untouchable. Same with Jaden Hicks. RJ and BJ, got their own too. What kind of focus do you see from your team, as they took that field today?
I think we were really dialed in, and I think maybe we're almost a little too excited at first, especially on offense. I think you saw us kind of finally settle in and get our stride. But to me, energy is great, but it just can't be high and low. It's got to be sustained. And I thought, those guys that you mentioned are also NFL guys. And they went out there in the biggest and brightest lights, showed the work that they had in the dark. And just proud of our whole team.
Yeah, Coach. First half, you guys seemed to move the ball with a lot of efficiency. And then the second half, it looked like Wisconsin had adjusted. What changes did you make? Turnovers were huge. What changes did you make? And can you kind of speak to that on how the fourth quarter was much better?
Well, first off, coming into the game, they were very much a 11 personnel 4-down team, 10 personnel 3-down team, and they played us every snap in 3-down. And that's what they did at Cincinnati. So were they bluffing week one? I don't know what they're going to do going forward. But I just think our guys had to adjust on the fly. They attacked a little bit more and just kept us off balance where we couldn't effectively or just efficiently run the ball to keep them off balance. So we need better balance on offense. That'll be the biggest, kind of point that going forward. But just in gut check time, I told our offensive staff kind of coming off the field, they'll enjoy this one even more because of how hard it was. And I really mean that. And as a coach, you go, what does that even mean, right? But when it's that hard and you got to gut it out, and Coach Arbuckle found a way to have a big drive, that's really rewarding. And I think our offense will be able to lean on that the rest of the year.
Coach, you spoke to it just a little bit there, but when it comes to Arbuckle and, kind of correcting the offense, the improvisations that we saw, whether it was, Lincoln throwing a pass or Cam running the jet sweep action before the quarterback run, just That you mentioned the adjusting on the fly, but just what kind of depth of a playbook that Arbuckle has that allows you to work through kind of any offensive rut?
Well, I think it's a lot, and I thought he does a good job, and we communicate about it, just circling through the plays. I mean, even to pull out the 2 quarterback stuff at the end in a clutch moment to get John a big run and an explosive play, and for John to stay ready for 4 quarters as we keep going down, I think it just shows the mindset of the offense, and I thought he did a good job finding different ways. You know, we had some success going empty a little bit, but like I said, it was gut check time, and Cam Ward, we put it in his hands, he made the dang plays.
Jake, Ron Stone had 2 sacks last season. I'm looking at stats right now. It says 1 for him, but I remember 2.
Yeah, we'll get that adjusted. Where's Bill at?
Just how big was Ron today?
Here's the biggest thing. Ron's a great example of you're never done getting better. He had a tremendous season in 21. Things didn't go the way he wanted to last year. There was injuries that really kind of hampered his whole season that no one really knew about. And he just made a great decision to commit, A, to Washington State, and B, to himself. And he's really comfortable with his decision of who he is and where we're going and what he means to this program, what he means to Cougs everywhere, and what he means to me, I can't even put into words. So to see him see the results of it again is awesome, and I think Ron's just scratching the surface of what he's going to do the rest of the season.
And both of those fumbles, Brennan scooped up. How fitting is that those 2?
I mean, those guys are 1080p or whatever they say. I don't even know. But to have Ron do that and RJ, or to have BJ score, I think it's just kind of fitting for what those guys do and what they mean to each other and how much they challenge each other and how different yet similar they are. So it's just really awesome to be their coach.
Oh, I know last week you said you don't want Cam to be your leading rusher. He is again today. Are you okay with that, or kind of what does that say about the offense?
No,
right now?
I mean, I just think there's things that we'll go back to the drawing board that we have to be better at. You know, now Cam made some of those plays off script and doing just amazing things, but part of it is our commitment to want to run the ball and needs to take a step forward. You know, and I mean that, and we'll look at that because I think we can. I know we can, and I have trust in Nakia, Jalen. If we can create space, can make some things. You know, we just got to make sure we're committed to it and finding ways to make sure we're staying ahead of the chains.
Have you thought much about just kind of what this would mean just for Wazoo in general? And I mean, I know you talked about kind of the statement you made, but how much have you thought about just kind of what this does for the program long term?
I just think, it's hard to tell right now, Greg, to be honest with you. You know, we're just trying to take it one game at a time. And we know what we have, and I said we quietly built a really good team. You know, and we got to come back on Monday ready to work and get better. I just think it means a lot probably for Coug fans everywhere, the faculty, the staff, the alumni, all over. I know they're beaming with pride. But this is a crux point for Washington State and Washington State football. You know, and we're carrying the flag for all the transition, and I get that, and this is a pivotal moment of where we want to go. Wherever we end up, we got to commit to being great. And I think that's what this statement means, is that we're here. We can be. And we're fighting. Even as college football is changing, we're still getting pretty good results. But once again, this is one win. We're going to celebrate this tonight, and we're going to come back Monday ready to work.
Before the game, you honored the late and great head coach, Mike Leach. I see you guys rocking the Pirate shirts. How much was that a motivation to come out tonight the way that they did? Even some of these guys on your team were Mike Leach recruits.
Yeah, I mean, even the keys to victory this week were, in Coach Leach's honor. Be the best team, be the most excited to play, and be the best at doing your job. We talked about him this morning and we honored him, and I thought those were just fitting because of how it would carry over to our football team. So Coach Leach loved Washington State because of the people. He did. He really did. And all the stories surround that. He would probably have something funnier to say than I do right now, but I just know he's had a great impact, and we wouldn't be sitting here today without Coach Leach. I really believe that. Because he made us believe again and set us off on this trajectory, and I think it was a fitting honor to go out there and win a tough game.
I know we've talked about how huge the defense came up today, but in the first half they held them to, they were in the red zone 3 times and held them to 3 field goals. In hindsight, how much did that play a role in tonight's win when they made the comeback there in the second half?
Well, I think it's everything. We're bend but don't break, and we've been that ever since I've gotten here. And I think everybody's out there sometimes trying to stop everything, and I think that's hard. You gotta know, hey, what you're giving, what you're taking, keep the ball in front of you, eliminate explosive plays, but to make sure that you have great red zone defense is key. And I thought that gave us a lot of momentum, even right before the half, just to say, hey, we're in control of this game.
Hey, Coach, what's it going to cost for me to get that shirt from you?
We'll talk off, but I don't know if your wall is big enough. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Thank you. All right, thank you guys. Go Cougs.